I used to be a body positivity influencer, preaching a simple message: love yourself at any size. Then I risked it all.
I don't care how trendy or cute or fun it seems to be fat. You gotta really think about your health. Love yourself at any size, but don't forget that your heart has to beat, babes.
I'm gonna tell you how I got here.
Okay.
From championing body positivity to renouncing it.
Oh, renouncing it. Uh-oh.
My story starts like this.
Are we going to hate this? Is this going to be like super fat phobic all of a sudden? Or is it just going to be like, see, why do we have to renounce body positivity? Why do we have to renounce it? Because you know that's giving it to conservatives. But also, you should love yourself at any size because you are not less lovable no matter what size you are. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? You know, what is it?
Since I was a little girl, I always knew I was bigger. But I'm from the Bronx, where having a curvy body and a fat ass is what you want. When you're Latina, you get called gordita, and it's a term of endearment. Fluffy, like Gabriel Iglesias used to say.
I called myself fat around my mom, and she was like, "Mijo, you're not fat, you're fluffy."
It wasn't until college that I learned in the rest of the country, thinness is the beauty standard. Even worse, fat people are seen as lazy and dumb.
I'm doing horizontal running.
It wasn't just a fun thing to be fluffy, it was actually something people found disgusting.
Run for the hills, it's Fatzilla!
Studies show fat people are often treated worse in healthcare. And for women, the heavier we are, the less we're paid. I eventually learned that this discrimination has a name: fat phobia. I never planned on being a body positivity influencer. I wanted to be an actress, I wanted to be a star. I love Beyonce. But being plus size, I never felt like it was possible. And
This is very old YouTube. Look at this. This is like old YouTube.
so I started my YouTube channel in 2010.
Make like a semicircle type of effect. But it's just a simple tank top and it only costs like $13.
That's when I started to get more attention from other plus size women about how empowered they felt watching my content. And
Does anybody recognize her? I don't know who she is. Is anybody a fan of hers? Does anybody know her?
that just made me feel like I had a bigger purpose in what I was creating. I started posting more intentionally.
You woke up for a reason. You
Gabriella Lascano? I don't know her.
didn't wake up to feel bad about yourself.
Sometimes about plus size fashion
They actually look like a legit 3X. They look big.
or travel.
I deserve to be on this flight just as anyone else.
Brands started sending me clothes to model.
I have a collaboration with Boohoo. I partner with GS Love Me to Forever 21 for sponsoring this video.
I was on magazine covers and making headlines. It was the late 2010s and body positivity exploded.
Versace brand featured 3 plus-size models.
Full-figured, plus-sized lady.
American Vogue, Sports Illustrated.
A huge step forward for body positivity.
I ain't no size 2, but I can shake it, shake it.
And now she's on Ozempic or something else. And so she's really thin and everyone doesn't like her again, which is so interesting. That's the problem, though. How can you not like her because she's skinny? How can you not like her because she's fat? I'm tired. But everyone has to know no one is exempt from feeling the pressures of body expectation, no matter gender. Everyone is suffering. Like, eating disorders are up in boys. So as much as we think of eating disorders as a girl problem, boys are experiencing it as well. We're all suffering. So, you know, just be kind to yourself through this process, especially even in today's video, watching this video. I hope if you find yourself getting like a little upset or a little activated, that's okay. Like, you know what I mean? It's okay to exit and come back. But I think what's really important here is that you recognize from a moral perspective, it is not immoral to exist in your body. Okay.
Seeing a community that welcomes you with open arms and tells you there's no pressure to look this way, to be this certain weight. I mean, does that not sound like paradise? Then, over time, I got heavier and heavier. I've always been an adventurous person, but there was a lot I couldn't do anymore. Fitting into the seats on roller coasters, planes. I couldn't wear heels, my dresses wouldn't zip up. And that wasn't all.
When you're bigger, you might not be able to wipe as well as a thinner person. You can't reach because there's no space.
Some days I would look at photos and not even recognize myself. I'm only 5 feet.
Okay, so she did gain like a significant amount of weight. If she feels like, I mean, it must be harder. There are disadvantages in many ways to having any kind of form in your body. This, I consider this a vessel, a ship. And you get to decorate your ship however you want because it like harbors your consciousness, right? So if you find that your body, when bigger, is too hard to deal with, okay, we could do something about that. If you feel like your body, when it has less muscles, isn't able to really do what you wanted to do, let's work out, right? Like for me, I'm definitely doing this challenge for this year that I'm working on. And once I'm done with the challenge, like things will change, but I'm doing this challenge. I am trying to gain some muscle. I noticed that my fibromyalgia is obviously very much benefited from enough working out. I went on a little afternoon walk yesterday by myself. Look at me, adventurous through Croatia. And it was nice. It was like a nice little short walk. And it started to get me outside because I have a tendency to just be inside all day because I wake up and by the time I'm done making breakfast and doing my morning routine, I'm off to work. And by the time I'm out of work, it's nighttime and it's too dark to go outside. And I'm just like, so I have to like really get myself to go outside on my day off. But it's crazy. Like genuinely, they're on a regular Brittany schedule. It's basically only one day a week that I might leave the house and go outside, unless I go to the store. But just to go outside for outside's sake, like other than standing on my balcony, which I do. So I try to stand on my balcony every day, but that's not this, like, it's not the same thing, you know, but I do, you know, it's just weird when your schedule is a certain way. You really feel like, when am I supposed to go outside? Like, what am I literally supposed to go take a walk? You know, I don't have enough time before work starts and then boom, right? And then if I wake up too early before work starts, now I've been awake too long and I'm too tired to do work. So, you know, okay, we're all disabled. We understand there's like an aspect to this that needs to be taken into consideration. That's how I would look at your body. Not morally, you're not judging it, you're not bad, you're not evil, you are just strategic. If I want to do X, I must do Y. So if living with X body is not getting you the thing you need, that's okay. Let's change things up. But do not judge yourself, do not hate yourself, do not like punish yourself for having this body or engaging with life in a body that you feel like you wish it was different. You know, we can have conversations, but the moralization that fat phobia causes is the problem. It is literally saying you are less than, you are a bad person because you're whatever body shape. Bad in this instance, but that's not good. And they do it with skinny, by the way. I'm sick of people body checking people. I'm tired, guys. Checking people's collarbones and checking people's arms and deciding that so-and-so has an eating disorder because they're too skinny. Like, I'm tired. I get it. We have thoughts. Share it somewhere else. Stop going to their actual posts and commenting. These people tell you they read the comments. Stop leaving them comments to read. They don't need to see you body checking them. You know what I mean?
Tall. And at my heaviest, I was close to 400 pounds. I started to wonder if loving myself at any size had become an excuse to ignore how big I was getting.
I mean, maybe, but that's not the movement's fault. That's your own personal relationship with life. That's the problem. See the problem? It is your personal relationship with your body. It is not the movement's fault. The movement isn't getting you fatter. The movement is allowing you to feel comfortable in your body. And when humans are comfortable, we tend to get fat or complacent. But that's because we're comfortable. And why not, right? Now, if you want to be uncomfortable, then we can talk about it. But yeah, there's a level of comfortability that allows us to get complicit with working out or walking or how much we're eating. Because God knows, one time I was working with this nutritionist and she was like, how much bread can you eat in a day? Like this Assyrian cheese bread. I was like, I don't know, like 10 pieces. She was like, Brittany, be serious. I was like that's like the way I could devour food in a day. Like, you have to understand that I can feel full and I can definitely feel like overstuffed 100%, but I can eat a lot. And I can overeat a lot. Like, I can literally push my limits every time I eat if I wanted to. I just choose not to because one, you feel bad. But two, it's not worth it for me, but sometimes it's worth it. Some days I do choose to overeat. And if I did that all the time, I would be like 70 pounds heavier. So the issue is, like, first, we have to eat slow. Second, we have to actually eat and not gorge ourselves. Third of all, we have to allow ourselves moments and days and times where we do that. But mostly, we have to accept that when we live in this world with the body we have accessible to us and we get to choose what we eat every day, it is very tempting not to eat cheese bread every day. You know what I mean? It is very tempting not to eat desserts every day. It is very tempting. The bag of chips, oh my God, so many calories. So, like, Chat says cheese and bread. Yes, ma'am, all day. Cheese, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And by the way, now that I'm plant-based, you know what I'm saying? But like sometimes, that flavor of cheese, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's not pretend. Now, you know that saying, right? Why doesn't my food at home taste as good as restaurants? Because restaurants don't care about your cholesterol. listen to me when I say this, that the way I eat healthy at home, but the way I have so much excitement going to restaurants, because the butter and the oils, and they do not care about your health, girl. That's why I had a friend who was suffering. He was bigger, and he was frustrated that he was gaining so much weight. And I said, what do you normally eat? He was like, oh, I eat out at this like great like restaurant. I get like mac and cheese. And so he orders it one day. Guys, I'm not exaggerating. Let's say the cup size was like half. Okay, let's just like give this as an example. I poured the oil out of his food container, and I'm not exaggerating. It was like this much oil. And I was like, hello? And you're scooping that up with every spoonful into your mouth. Like, I do measure out all my oil and everything I use, because if I don't, I could easily eat 1,000 calories of oil every day. So I measure it out. I go 200 calories of oil is in my diet almost every day, olive oil. 200 calories from just a few tablespoons of olive oil, or a couple tablespoons of olive oil, whatever it is. Think about that. Right? So listen, I just do this. Listen, if I want to eat a lot in a day and I don't want to risk a lot of like calorie intake, I just eat the fuck out of vegetables because I love them, and I fry them in oil. Like, I compensate the volume of like zucchini as an example. You can eat like 400 grams of zucchini for like 60 calories. And I love zucchini. So I'm like, oh, win-win. Love vegetables, love oil, love zucchini. And so now you're eating like a few hundred calories altogether, but you're eating like so much food. And like for me, that's the way I do it. Like, I fucking love to eat. I love vegetables. I could eat 100 tomatoes a day. I love tomato. If they weren't so expensive, I would eat tomatoes all the time. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's what I do now. I'm lucky I'm not a picky eater, and I'm lucky that I love everything. So it's easier for me to just eat a lot and like enjoy the quinoa, enjoy rice, enjoy vegetables, enjoy everything. The point is that I want to eat and I don't want to feel bad about it. So that's kind of how I do it. You know what I'm saying? But I can understand why she's blaming the movement, but I think she should redirect that blame and put it on herself, but not blame. Just say, hey girl, I lost myself in feeling good about myself. Sometimes when we feel really good about ourselves, we lose our relationship with discipline, and we forget that we're biological creatures on a planet. And whether we like it or not, we can't just smoke as many cigarettes as we want, or eat as much as we want, or even go to the gym as much as we want. I wish I could work out more, and I can't, because if you overwork out with fibro, you end up hurting yourself worse. So like, I wish I could eat more. I wish I could work out more. I wish I could do a lot of things more. Everything in balance. But there's nothing wrong with encouraging you to go to the gym. There's nothing wrong with encouraging people to smoke less. And there's nothing wrong with encouraging people to love themselves and the body they're in. But I do think there is something wrong with turning your own personal issue with yourself into an issue with a movement. I do think that's an issue. Like, formerly gay people, I just recorded the video for members. I'll have it out tomorrow. Former gay people, it didn't work for me, so it must be bad for you. This has nothing to do with me. Just because it was bad for you, which I would bring into question, has nothing to do with me. And that's my problem with her premise.
I felt like I saw myself being brainwashed, essentially. Meanwhile, the language around body positivity began sounding more extreme online.
There are a few words that I don't allow. Healthy is one of them.
This comes up a lot when I talk about how the word obese is a slur.
I don't want to step on the scale at the doctor's. I say, oh, I don't want to be weighed today.
Intentional weight loss is fat phobic.
This is what makes exercise fat phobic.
It's rooted in fat phobia. It's not rooted in science. It doesn't work.
I've even seen celebrities being attacked for losing weight.
This morning, Kelly Clarkson facing criticism after revealing she's taking a prescription medication for weight loss.
Well, she's not, yes, she shouldn't be attacked for losing weight, but I think we should call into question the pressure celebrities feel to take these drugs that are actually bad for them in order to be skinny. I don't know why we're not pretending like these drugs are literally still being pushed on us for negative reasons. And the only reason we think it's positive is because they're thin. But like, we know it's not good for us. So I don't know why we're pretending. You know what I mean? Like, you pick and choose your battles. Obesity has its negatives. Being on these weight drugs has its negatives, but it's not my business. Okay? It's not my business.
Star is facing criticism after her noticeable weight loss.
It wasn't always like this. Years before, I had often talked about weight loss without getting hate.
The last couple of days, I was feeling really like depressed. And I was like, I need to get my ass out there and work out.
Today's video is going to be a what I eat in a day video to lose weight.
But as the body positivity community became more radical, I was scared to say the wrong thing.
Who is radical? Who is radical? You mean groups of people coming together without philosophical foundational understanding? I get it. This is why I say I don't belong to communities, but I'm a visitor, because I love my communities and I do consider myself a queer, community member, but ultimately philosophically queer. I'm philosophically queer. I am, body neutrality is kind of more, I think, where I'm at, where basically like the body is neutral, right? Like, I don't really think the body matters. I think the body is a vessel and your relationship with the body is up to you. But I do think you can have an unhealthy relationship with your body. And I do think you hold the power to have a healthy relationship with it. I do think you have to take into consideration your relationship with your body, again, introspectively and extrospectively, because we have to acknowledge both things are true. How I feel about my body and how I know the world feels about my body. Those are the two things. And you have to make sure it's about what you think about or feel about your body, right? So yes, some people might be disappointed if you lose weight because they identified and gained a parasocial relationship with you. And that's the problem with parasociality same thing with my nose. I've had my own viewers say to me, oh, I'd be kind of disappointed or sad if you got a nose job. Yeah, that's a problem. It's none of your business to tell me your thoughts about my nose job, which I'm not even looking to get. Reminder that I'm not even looking to get a nose job. It's just when I mention it, which I've already decided not to get one. But when I mention it, people are like, oh my God, Brittany, no. I know that impulse. I know your impulse. Think it, don't type it. Think it, don't type it. Same thing with body stuff. Like, if a person is like, oh yeah, I'm 300 pounds. Okay, it's none of my business. Oh, I'm like 95 pounds. Still none of your business. Eating disorders are none of your business. You do not get to go on people's pages and point out they have an eating disorder. I think they know. Okay? Keep it to yourself. Talk to your friends about it. Talk to somebody else about it. Maybe even make a video about it, but don't go to their channel. Don't bother them. Okay? Because I do think we should talk about eating disorders. I do think we should talk about helping communities by lifting them up. And I think that's really what body positivity started, because people were making fun of fat people at the gym. Because as much as like you want to pretend that's not happening, it is 100% happening that people were making fun of people for being at the gym and be like, what the fuck are you doing here? You obviously don't belong here, which is ironic since you would think like you would want them in the gym. So body positivity came in as a way to counter inclusion, to say we all belong at the gym. We all belong in these circles. We all belong here. It's not our fault you ran with it, homie. Like, that's the thing that we all have to understand. We are allowed to, not her, by the way, not her specifically, but a lot of people, whatever your bubble is that you cling to and decide is your identity, it's not the movement's fault, but it is our responsibility to make sure the movement is healthy. So if you have a person who says obese is a slur, I would say, can you tell me more about that? Because I can kind of see what you mean. I can kind of see what you mean in a sense that people say it like, ugh, gross, disgusting, less than, oh, they're obese, right? What is one of the greatest insults people love to throw at Trump? That he's fat. Why are you attacking Trump for being fat? Because you know it hurts people's feelings to think they're fat. And even though you say you're a progressive, the first thing you go to insult him with is his weight. Because he's sensitive about it. Because people are sensitive about their weight. Whether they're skinny and they're like, oh, you're going to grow any muscles, bro? You look like a toothpick. Or if they're bigger and it's like, whoa, bro, a lot of you came to town today. You know what I mean? So this is serious. These things intersect and they're very personal. And I can see her pain. I believe her that she felt she fucked herself over. And I'm very empathetic to that. I wish she wouldn't then fuck over the whole movement. Because I hear her, and I think there's a way to fix this, to say, I took it too far. Let's continue uplifting our community without taking it too far. And also, too far is not the shape of my body. Too far is out of alignment with my joy. When I say you took it too far, I am not talking about the weight of your scale. I'm saying too far away from my joy, my happiness, my health, my relationship with philosophical joy.
So I stayed silent. Then my friend died. She was a body positivity influencer who founded the world's first plus-size salon.
All bodies, all sizes, and has custom chairs that hold up to 800 pounds.
She was just someone I consider like a big sister. Taught me about business and taught me about the movement. I worried about her a lot. After she was bedridden because of heart failure, Jamie expressed her desire to lose weight.
I haven't left the house in 2 years, and I just learned to walk again.
I really believed that she was going to make it out of it. But in late 2022, she died at 37, reportedly from heart complications.
Like, I didn't want her to feel like I was trying to tell her what to do, and I kind of wish I would have spoke up maybe more. And just let her know that I cared.
And she wasn't the only one. A week later, another body positivity influencer posted this video.
I ruined my life with food, binge eating, and lack of self-care. I'm hoping that it's not too late for me this time.
Just months before, Brittany said she developed type 2 diabetes and serious weight-related skin infections.
My pelvic region is literally the size of like a large purse. It's extremely swollen and hard.
1 week after posting that video, begging the universe for another chance at life,
it's really scary how bad things can get.
She died. She was 28. I don't know for sure if Jamie and Brittany died because of their size, but hearing their own regrets, I couldn't help but think of myself. It was one thing to sacrifice my adventurous lifestyle. It was another to put my life at risk. And so
I think from my understanding, nobody dies directly from obesity. What they die from is the complications that arise impounded or compounded by obesity, right? So obesity can make things worse, but the obesity in and of itself isn't what kills you. And I think this is a better way to see it. So you take away the stigma from being bigger, and you face the realities of what your biological experience is with your body. Because I do think thin people, smaller people get assumed to be healthy when they're suffering as well. And they're just suffering from a different relationship too. So instead I would think of it like when you think about heart issues, right? Like the heart issues are what I'm thinking about. Oh, Discord said from the core morbidity of obesity. Yeah, so it's like it's like a factor, but it's not like the obesity killed you. It's like you had a heart attack from, so it's like, eating better is a huge part of our health that we're not doing as a whole. And the same people that I think do get away with eating really badly, but look skinny, are doing it's the same thing. It's like the food you're eating, it's the relationship you have to things, it's the strain on your heart, the strain on your lungs. So the conversation, again, if we can switch the conversation to being, it's not about you being fat, it's about you bringing down, because that allows people who are fat to show up to the doctors and be healthy without the world doubting it. Because that's the problem, is like fat people go to the doctors and get the clear from their doctors every day. But people who refuse to believe it aren't understanding the science. And so it gets confusing, and it becomes, if you're fat, you're unhealthy, instead of, am I good or not? Because not all bodies will react the same. You can have two bodies with, with completely different relationships to this thing. Now, obviously, I do believe, and I think this is fair to say, that on very extremes of very, very underweight and very, very overweight, I just think we're always in the danger zone. Okay? When we're talking about, I just think both of those are eating disorders. If you're binge eating, that's an eating disorder, Habibis. Okay? That's not just you're fat. That's an eating disorder. If you're under eating, that's an eating disorder. You are on the outskirts of extremes. You're not even well within balance. I just think we should look at them like eating disorders, because that's what they are, and let people get help because they deserve help. You deserve help. Okay? You deserve to say, I've been binge eating. I'm so sorry to hear that. Let's get you some help for that. Versus painting every person that's slightly overweight as unhealthy or fat. And the fat is fine. Fat is just a state of being. It's not it shouldn't be a moral judgment on your character. Like, I think that's the issue is, we're mixing up too many things, and then we're not actually trying to help people, which is why I think fat phobia is like any other phobia. You do not give a fuck about the people suffering. You just want to feel morally superior because you think it's like a fear of yours or something. You know what I mean? And so I think like that's how I look at my life. It's like That's how I look at autism or BPD or anything else I get diagnosed with. I'm not a bad person because I have a diagnosis, which people believe. People believe I'm a bad person because I have a diagnosis. So when they tell you to go get mental health, and then when you do, they tell you you're a bad person for getting diagnosed. I know that's not true. I am not a bad person because I have a diagnosis. Now that I have this diagnosis, I'm able to better my life, find stability, be healthy, show up for myself, show up for my community, because I know when things get hard, I have a reason for it, and I take care of that reason, and then I move forward. So again, for me, it's about really understanding what's up, what I need to do, and what my future, right? Chad says overweight in quotations. Is that a commentary on something? I'm not sure if I missed it. Are we saying, are you, I think you wrote a comment. Let's see. No, did I miss it? Let me know if you're trying to expand on something I said or something, because I want to make sure I just want to signal that your consciousness is not judged by your body. That your relationship to self and the judgment of your character is not reflected in you having a complicated relationship with your body. Chad said, no, just making an addendum to my earlier comment. I think you're doing well in your commentary. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Press record, and everything I said just came out.
I'm gonna say something controversial, and I don't care. I actually feel kind of guilty for being a part of this movement. Health is real.
Well, I think what she feels bad about too is like she's afraid her friends died. See, don't do anything out of fear or when you're desperate, because now she's afraid she might die. She's gonna throw a whole community under the bus. This is like with anything we do in our life. Just because someone died doesn't mean it's bad. People die every day doing lots of things. We have to have a conversation, that's bigger than that. But I understand she's afraid. I understand she's in mourning. Her friends died. It's devastating. And okay.
Organs failing is real. Diabetes, heart disease, all that is real, okay? It's not fat phobic to care about your health. And this is coming from someone who's learning those.
I agree. It is not fat phobic to care about your health. I think it is fat phobic to blame people for their, or to say people are bad because they're fat, which is what the problem is. But I think the issue is like, just because certain people in the fat body positivity or whatever movement say like, oh, I don't believe in these words. Again, this is so complicated because I think it is much more nuanced than we're ever allowed to have. So yeah, these words we're using are so angry, bro. They're so like baggaged, I believe in health. I believe in this. I am just as it is just as triggering to watch a skinny person make fun of fat people on the internet as it is to like witness people dying in front of us. It's all very upsetting, It's just like so upsetting. And I'm saying like we need to stop being upset and start just like focusing on our goals and mind our business.
Lessons now, myself.
And the backlash was massive.
Literally been seething with anger.
It's blowing my mind how fat phobic you've become.
You should know better and do better.
The body positivity community branded me a pariah. And so I left. I want to lose more weight, but I still feel a lot better than I did before. I feel a lot more like myself. Let me be clear. Not every fat person is unhealthy. Not every skinny person is healthy.
A viral rise in skinny talk.
Skinny talk, dark side of social media,
encourages disordered eating.
If you want to get skinny, you need to gaslight yourself to skinny.
View food as something that is optional always.
Not everyone can control their weight, and no one should be mistreated for it. But what's not fat phobic is this. Being fat does increase your risk of health problems. Studies show obese people are about 6 times more likely to develop type 2 diabetes. We have a 28% greater risk of heart disease. We have higher risk for 13 types of cancer. Up to 7 times the risk for endometrial cancer. Up to 5 times the risk for esophageal cancer. Colon, rectal, pancreatic, kidney. Higher risk of strokes. We can still be body positive while acknowledging these risks. We can still love ourselves, even if we want to lose weight.
Well, then I wish the framing of this video wasn't I'm leaving the movement. I wish the framing of this video was I think we can all collectively love ourselves and be healthier. But I wish see how the framing is very important. The reason the community also turned on you is because the framing of it is a rejection of them. You're rejecting the community because you felt like they rejected you, but you also came at the community, right? So like, that's the problem. Like, yeah, let's be both things, but see, she's not quite being both things.
What real body positivity should stand for. Loving yourself at any size and having the freedom to change it.
I mean, yeah, girl, but like, that's the problem. This was posted 6 days ago. But I think it's because everyone is talking about Ozempic, which I'm really frustrated by personally. Because I'm not frustrated you're taking it. I'm frustrated that you are downplaying the reason why you're taking it. Like, let's be real. And I think this is probably the thing I've had with some women in the space who keep talking about women empowerment and fighting patriarchy and then turn around and say like, I feel pressured by the system to like take this weight loss drug and to get a facelift, but also won't deconstruct that pressure and say that I'm doing it for me. They say, no, like I can't do any of this for me. I do it because like the pressure is there. And I'm saying, if you're doing it because of the pressure, you shouldn't do it. You have to do it for yourself. You have to do it because it's like really what you want. When I have girlfriends come to me and say, hey, I really want to get this plastic surgery thing done, and I keep going back and forth, I say, look, the only time you should get this done is when you're like, it's about you. You're like, honestly, bro, I'm vibing. I'm going to be so much happier. I don't care what anyone says. I know what's good for me. The same way you would aggressively go get a tattoo you love or a hair color you love. Like, whether you want to say it or not, yes, plastic surgery has more risks, but like life is risky. We exist. You brought me into the world with white supremacy and, you know, homophobia and transphobia, and you didn't hesitate then. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't hesitate to bring a baby into the universe when there's genocides happening all over. You didn't hesitate to bring a baby into the universe when you couldn't pay your phone bill, but here I am. Okay? So like, we're all into risks. Everyone's playing a game with risk. The question is, do you trust yourself as an adult to mitigate that risk, to take into consideration that risk? I want to trust adults to do the right thing for themselves by giving them enough tools to come to that decision on their own without everybody in their ear. And that's really what's happening. Everybody has an opinion about your body. And that's kind of the problem, isn't it? Let's go to the chat and see how they feel in the YouTube video. It says, the fact that she got backlash for saying that diabetes and heart disease, etc. are real problems and you should take care of yourself just shows how mental the world is today. Yeah, but she didn't say that, did she? She said, this might get me canceled, but I'm going to say this. She said it aggressively and ready for a fight. And that's always going to put people on edge. I know, because I used to make videos like that too, like years ago. I used to make videos where I'd have a realization that this community I thought I was a part of was for liberation. And then I would get disappointed because people were stunted. And then I would blame the whole movement instead of realizing like, oh, people are just stunted. Even in the best, most well-intentioned movement, people are stunted everywhere. So it's not the movement's fault, it's people. And people have to learn to have a healthier relationship because the movement has good intentions. The movement is a good idea. It's just, of course, people are suffering. That's why if we weren't suffering, we wouldn't need the movement. But the movement was created out of suffering. And so we have to slowly as a community heal, you know? Let's see, what else does YouTube say? Loving yourself at any size doesn't mean pretending there are no consequences. Real love includes protecting your health and longevity. I don't know if that's true, right? Like, I think real love includes protecting your joy. And I don't know, I think that brings into consideration your health, but longevity is hard for me because though longevity is important, it's not always the goal. That's why people take risky job choices. That's why people live careers that have shorter lifespans. Should you do it? I don't know. It's case by case basis, right? A human being who changed her mind about something and is willing to publicly admit it. Give this lady a Nobel Prize. Okay, relax there. Okay, let's see. This is why I prefer saying body neutrality, meaning we don't make moral judgments about people's body size, but we can't just ignore the health consequences. Yeah, I just think like the obsession with health consequences only relating to fat people is frustrating when we know being too thin is also there's health consequences to that. But I will say once again, I hate people's obsession with messaging on people's like Instagrams, like Eugenia Cooney, like, hey, Eugenia Cooney, get help. I think she knows, guys. I think she knows. Your obsession with being so self-righteous and commenting on people's direct social media is the problem. Again, making a video about it, commenting about it, whatever. But like commenting on your own page about it, whatever. But going to their page, like they know. They know. We know. You know, it's just so frustrating, you know? Let's see. Chet says, personally using fat as a neutral word in a self-describer has helped the word hurt less and improve my self-image. I love that. Like, I think that's so important. And, you know, even in my relationship, we talk about fatness all the time, like skinniness, fatness. What does this mean? We have a really safe space to like weigh ourselves, enjoy food, talk about our bodies. And for us, like, we're not concerned. We have no like real limitations on each other's bodies or how we keep them. Like, to us, we're here to enjoy our life, and whatever our body looks like after that, you know, as long as it's not disordered eating or issues, we're fine. So like, I knew a guy back in the day who was like really thin his whole life, really handsome. People used to think he was so attractive. And then he went through an eating disorder era in his life where he was like sneaking food and like eating regular dinner with the family. And then in the middle of the night, he would sneak out and go to 3 different fast food restaurants to eat in his car. And sometimes, you know, he'd wake up the next day and his partner would find like food in the fridge and stuff and be like, did you go out last night? When did you even go out? Like, they wouldn't even know. And I'm like, okay, that's an issue. And now he's like struggling with like severe obesity or whatever you want to call it. He's very much in an unhealthy, but don't you know that's disordered eating? Like, that is an eating disorder. That's not a matter of being fat. We're beyond fatness. We're in mental health territory now. And that's what I'm saying is the difference. There is a difference between having a bigger body and being fat and literally like, you know what I mean? Like sneaking food, lying to your partner, spending money. You know, this is mental health. This is bigger. Have we gone to therapy? No. You know what I mean? So I just don't want this to become, and I don't think it should be about you're fat. It should be about like, why are you fat? If that conversation even needs to happen in the first place. Because it might not even have to happen in the first place. You know, it's not our job to ask people why they're fat. Now, if you're genuinely concerned about a family member and say, hey, I noticed severe changes in your body weight, thin or big, and I'm just concerned. I want to make sure you're okay. And they're like, yeah, dude, I'm cool. I'm just like in an eating era. I'm like, okay. Or, you know, whatever. But if they're like, yeah, honestly, dude, I've been so stressed from work. I'm eating so much. I'm eating like 10,000 calories a day. I'm fucking vomiting. Like, I got problems. Then I'm like, okay, let me get you some help. You know? And that's what I want. That's what I want for the world. But I think sometimes, especially coming from a fat phobic bubble, like, guys, you gain the smallest amount of weight and people are like, you're fat. You're dying, you're skinny fat. Oh my gosh, what is that? Like, even if you're soft, like even if you're skinny, but you're soft, I come from a bubble that's like, are you going to stay that way? Are you going to like hold on to the fat? And I'm like, so you have to understand it's a counterculture to something that we grew up in that was really, really extreme. Like really, really extreme, right? I mean, look at Tyra Banks and the whole modeling, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, I don't think it's that uncommon. Like, but yeah, Syrian bubbles are very fat phobic. There is a lot of people talk about it. If you're not a size 0 or a size 2, it's like, oh my God, you're fat. You know what I mean? Guys, that are your parents in shape, Britt? I mean, my parents are in their 60s, but yeah, they're in shape. My mom is in shape. My dad's in shape. They have a home gym. They work out. They go on walks. But also, you know, they haven't gone to therapy for their stuff. Cause like even my dad has like that perfect like dad bod look. And my dad always feels bad about like his gut. And I was like, your gut is dad bod status though. You're literally muscular. It's good. You're not supposed to be thin. Your body wasn't made to be skinny thin. And he's like, oh, I wish I could get rid of it. I was like, you're fucking obsessed for no reason, bro. You literally have the most perfect dad bod, bro. Like, this is what girls like, dad. He's like, no. I was like, they do. They like it. Like, he does. He has like a perfect dad bod model. He works out. He's so strong. And he's also an old man. I mean, they're going to be 70. Okay? Like, let's be so fucking for real. What are you trying to be like? You know what I'm saying? You're so old. But it's like this obsession with also staying young that I think is a part of it too. Like, we're all going to get bigger. We're all going to get softer. We're all going to get old. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, what are we talking about here? You know? Because as if we care about health, we should be talking about the way that we should be talking way more than what someone looks like. Look at the food regulations. We care about profit more than health. For sure. I will say, the reason people talk about what you look like is because your health is shown through your largest, what is this? Is the largest, your skin shows a lot about your health. Your skin does. Like the way you look can absolutely be an indication of health. And because we know that, I think we prejudge people because we don't know what we're looking at, right? Which is why I'm trying to say we have to know what we're looking at to discern, is it health or not health related? Like people have melanoma on their skin and not even process it as unhealthy because they don't know what they're looking like. Yeah, the skin is the largest organ. Thank you, Chad. I was like, is that correct? Yeah. And then Tyra Banks, talking about that show. I want to review it for members. I was thinking about reviewing it after Love Island. I want to review it. But I want to catch up on Love Island because I promised I would do the Huda season. But I'm going to do that. And then I want to do Tyra Banks. But that's the other thing is like, I think we are mixing facts with subjective judgment. And you have to focus on the facts and make sure your subjective observation is lacking in judgment of character. Because, and this goes back to what I said earlier on stream, sometimes I can see somebody and I can tell you their life history by their skin. Like I can see the way they look and I can tell, oh, you've been unhoused. Like your skin is literally burnt from the hours of sun and exposure to the outside elements that I only ever see on unhoused people. And that means like people are going to judge you and your character in a way that is unnecessary. And they're going to try to judge you morally. And I'm saying, I'm just making an observation, but I'm not judging you. But I know the difference between skin that has been like sun-kissed because you're a farmer and a skin that has been weathered and impacted by elements because you're unhoused, or you also have the layer of drug use or other things. Like we are, and it is important to make observations. I think if human beings could make observations without judgment, we could save the world. But we're so busy being judgmental that when we make our observation, we want to tie it to a moral, judgment. You're evil, you're bad, all this other, and that's what we got to get away from. If we really wanted to help people, we would separate those two things. We would make sure we were observing without judgment, without moral condemnation. We're not condemning you. Okay.